Hello everyone, if you are new here, my name is Brittany and this is my channel where I like to talk about everything that I like and don't like about horror movies. So in this video today, I just want to give a couple recommendations of some movies that I really think you need to see. So first on my list is Smile from 2022, directed by Parker Finn, starring Susie Bacon, Kevin Bacon's daughter, Kyle Gallner, who is one of my favorite actors, and Caitlin Stasey. She is actually in the short film as well for this movie. When I first watched the trailer for this movie, I thought that it seemed really similar to Truth or Dare, which I totally didn't mind because I like that movie. I think it's a pretty decent, fun horror movie, but this actually proved to be so much more than just a decent cheesy horror movie. The psychological aspect is actually genius and works so well with this whole story. I do want to give a trigger warning on mental health issues and self-harm. I think that's why I love this movie so much, because of the way that mental health is portrayed in this movie is just so spot on and feels pretty real. Another movie that actually I recently watched and I was surprised to have not heard about it sooner is In the Mouth of Madness, directed by John Carpenter, starring Sam Neill. Lately, I'm sorry, I just can't stop recommending this movie to everyone. Similar to Smile, you're going to follow someone in this movie where they start to lose touch with reality and they don't know what is real or not, and neither will you, kind of. This is the type of movie that you need to give your full attention to. There are even some pretty good effects. I have a particular favorite scene. It's when the pages will tear. I don't know, I don't want to give too much away, but when you do see that scene, you'll know what I'm talking about. Another movie that I'm really not sure if I mentioned on my channel before is The Deep House. I'm just not sure if I mentioned it before because I've talked about it a couple times online. Directed by Alexandre Bustillo and Julian Maury, starring Camille Rowe and James Jagger. This whole movie is just a really fun ride. To me, it kind of felt like I was playing a horror video game. Personally, I love a lot of underwater horror movies, and then you just toss in a haunted house to give it that extra creepiness. It's fun to uncover what is really going on. Another movie I want to recommend is 1922, directed by Zach Hilditch, starring Thomas Jane, Dylan Schmid, and Molly Parker. If you're ever in the mood for something really dark and haunting, then this is the perfect movie to put on. This is actually an adaptation from a Stephen King story. I don't feel like I hear this movie talked about enough, even though it is on Netflix. You get to see a struggling family that is falling apart due to financial issues. Basically, the wife wants to move to the city and the dad does not, and he actually turns their son against the mom. The only solution they see at that moment is to murder the mother. But there's so much more to this film, and this is one that it will probably stick with you. There's just a lot of really scary images. Okay, and this last one I want to recommend is a new favorite of mine. This movie is called Curtains, directed by Richard Cuypka, starring John Vernon, Samantha Eggar, Linda Thompson, and Lynn Griffin. I'll admit that I may have just watched this movie today, but I can confidently say that I fell in love with this. The acting, the atmosphere, the mask, and all the mind games are really effective. What really drew me in to watch this movie was I had seen pictures of the masked killer, and I just already knew there was something I was going to like about this. But also, I am pleasantly surprised with how pretty this movie is. I may like a lot of dark things, but sometimes I do like a little bit of pop of pink and some girly things, so this was just perfect for all of that. If you have similar interests, then you'll probably love this movie as well. Overall, I think this is a new top slasher for me. So these are just a few films that left a good impression on me lately. You can let me know your thoughts on any of these movies down below. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already, and give this video a like if you enjoy this type of content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.